Are going to be out of business. I'm telling you, if the Teamsters endorse Biden, here's the good news. Most of the Teamsters are going to vote for me anyway. And the unions and workers, just workers. But you give illegal taxpayer-funded lawyers, so they have millions of dollars in this agreement, in this deal, which we, by the way, killed. I think we killed it. I think it's dead. But you can never say it because bad bills always come back to life.
Yeah, you killed it. Former President Trump at an NRA event on Friday taking credit for tanking the bipartisan border deal. The Senate is now trying to pass a standalone foreign aid package. 18 Republicans joined Democrats yesterday in voting to advance a bill to send $95 billion in aid to Ukraine, Israel, and Taiwan. If the bill is passed by the Senate, it will head to the House, where its future in the Republican-led chamber remains uncertain, since the bill does not include border provisions, unlike the bill that Republicans just killed that did address border security. This is a conundrum. Meanwhile, in Ukraine, officials say a drone strike in the city of Kharkiv on Saturday killed 7 people, including 3 children, after it hit an oil depot. It comes as members of the House Intelligence Committee visited Ukraine's capital last week, meeting with Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky. Joining us now, 2 members who were on that very trip. Democrat Abigail Spanberger of Virginia. She's a former CIA officer. And Jason Crow of Colorado, a U.S. Army veteran who served our country in both Iraq and Afghanistan. It's good to have you both. I first want to ask about the trip. Congresswoman, give us a sense of just, is it getting to the point of dire in terms of the need for aid?
It is dire, the need for aid, as the Ukrainians continue to fight for their freedom and their democracy. And the purpose of this trip was to bring a bipartisan group of lawmakers. There were 3 Republicans, 2 Democrats on this trip. We went to Kyiv. We met not only with President Zelensky, but with members of the of the Ukrainian government, as well as our own military leaders in Poland, to discuss the impact of aid not only on Ukraine's ability to win this war, but also on our own U.S. national security interests. And the need to pass this bill in the Senate and then the House is extraordinarily vital, certainly for our Ukrainian allies and partners, but also for U.S. national security interests.
Congressman Crow, I am certain the very people you went to see and speak with are watching our politics here in the United States. What were some of their thoughts on what is going on here, especially as it pertains to aid for Ukraine?
Well, good morning. I mean, they're certainly scratching their head. They're fighting and dying for their freedom and their democracy. But let's be clear here. When we say this is aid, this is not charity. We're not giving this as a charitable contribution to Ukraine. We're doing this because this is in America's national security interest. You know, to have a stable and prosperous Europe. Europe is our single largest economic trading partner. We have 100,000 troops in Europe. Europe is our largest security partner. And for less than 5% of our annual defense budget, we are securing Europe. We are protecting our troops. Ukraine is doing the fighting. They have destroyed over half of Russia's military. And oh, by the way, over half of this money actually goes directly to American workers and American businesses who are building the weapons and equipment that we're sending to Ukraine. So this is actually a really good deal. And, you know, the rest of the world and certainly a lot of Americans know this is a good deal. That's why we have to get it over the finish line.
So, Congressman Crow, as you know from your younger life, the world is filled with danger, and the world is still filled with danger. But what do we do about the danger from within? The idea that you belong to a body of politicians, the House of Representatives, where huge numbers of people on the Republican side of the aisle seem to be rejecting both past history as well as the daily deadlines that we read about lack of munitions, lack of supply for the Ukrainian army fighting Russia.
Well, you're absolutely right that, you know, we are fighting our own battle for democracy here at home, and the rest of the world sees that too. But the answer to that is not to give in, not to fall to despair, but rather to continue to fight the battle. to do good, to govern, to show people that good things can happen, that we can deliver for them. Listen, I am very optimistic this year that we have a great track record to run on. We have delivered for the American people in incredible ways. Our economy is recovering. It still has some problems, but we're on track for a great recovery. We have done a lot of really amazing things over the last couple of years under Joe Biden's leadership. And we're going to take that message to folks. That is the solution. We're not going to act like the other side because we're not them.
Congresswoman Elise Jordan here. The images coming out of Rafah just the last day have been horrifying. And this weekend, President Biden and Netanyahu supposedly had a conversation where Biden asked for the aid to be conditional on protecting civilians. It does not seem that the operation was approached that way. How should the U.S. use the leverage of our $14 billion in this bill to do more for civilians?
Well, we as a United States Congress need to demonstrate that we are also committed to the safety and security of civilians. That is one of the components of this bill. We've talked about the military support, the military aid to Israel, to Ukraine, and to Taiwan. But in this bill as well is humanitarian support for Palestinian civilians. And let me be very clear on this issue. For anyone concerned about the safety and security of anyone in Israel now or long into the future, ensuring that Israel and the United States are partnering not just in Israel's efforts to go after the Hamas terrorists who committed the atrocities in October, but also supporting and ensuring the safety of innocent civilians throughout Gaza and the West Bank.
Democratic members of the House Intelligence Committee, Jason Crow of Colorado and Abigail Spanberger of Virginia. Thank you both very much for coming on this morning.